Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today this is a little special, and I'm really delighted and I'm really flattered and honored and the whole nine yards because this shawl was designed by Purple Iguana on Ravelry. And of course, you know I'm going to put a link to that pattern in the description box down below. Now this pattern she named after me. Isn't that sweet? Oh, I'm absolutely touched and flabbergasted and oof, yes. She calls this a web for Fiber Spider, and I'm so delighted because I love her patterns. They're very simple, and this one especially. This one is very, very, very simple. It's only a one row repeat, and I love it. It's lacy, it's easy, you know, it's got some interesting texture to it, and I used Karen cakes. This was in the colorway of pistachio. I love the greens. You know, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I love earth tones. And I used about 2 cakes, roughly speaking, and I used a size J hook, which I have somewhere on hand. Somewhere. I will find it. At any rate, now in the description for the pattern, she used Lion Brand Mondoa and a size I hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. And she says, I am adding another one row shawl to my collection. I know that the idea of a one row might seem boring to someone who's looking for more of a challenge, but it can be a nice shawl to work on something that you can easily put down and pick back up again, which I totally agree with, without the worry of forgetting what row you left off on or finding your piece in the pattern. Your place in the pattern. It also works into a light and airy shawl after a good blocking. So it's great for chilly spring mornings or cool autumn nights. This particular shawl is dedicated to Fiber Spider, who has so graciously provided video tutorials for a great many of my patterns. So that being said, that explains the name of the shawl. And thank you so much, Purple Iguana. I love your patterns. This, no exception. I love this one too. And so without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so I found my hook. It is a size J 6 millimeter hook. Now the reason why I'm using a J is because she used Mondoa yarn with a size I, which is a little bit thinner, and this is a little bit thicker, so I went up a size. Of course, you can use whatever works for you. I'm just letting you know what worked for me. And I'm using today Vanna's Choice in a lovely little red color, and my size J hook. Now, of course, to get started, we need our obligatory slip knot. So we're just going to start with that. Whoop. All right. And then to get started, yes, you can use a chaining of 4 and a slip stitch to create a ring and then work within the ring, or you could use the magic ring method. Me, you know I love to march to the beat of my own bongo. So we need some double crochets. We need a total of 5 with 4 chain spaces in between. So to start off, I am going to chain 1, which is going to act as my magic ring, and then chain up 3, which is going to act as my double crochet, and then chain 1 more for a total of 5 chains, because that extra chain acts as my chain 1 space. Then going into my first chain, double crochet, chain 1, back into that same first chain with a double crochet. So technically we have 3 double crochets, chain 1, another double crochet into that same chain. And this method I really, really do like because you can cinch up that initial chain really easy. Chain 1 again, and then another double crochet into that same chain. And so now, technically speaking, yes, I have 5 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces, and then I can just sort of cinch that nice and closed, and then I can sew it in later, no problem. And that is the end of row 1. Now I'm not going to do a little stitch row counter thingy because it's a 1 row repeat, but I'm going to do repeats for you, that. And so let's get on to row number 2. All right, so for row 2, we need a V-stitch in this first double, and I'm going to show you. Basically, what it amounts to is chaining up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn the work, and then do a double crochet into this first stitch. Now the chaining of 4 acts as a double crochet and a chain 1 space, and then this double crochet, we've created a V-stitch. Really simple. And this is how we begin every row for this piece. And so then after doing your V-stitch, chain 1, into the next stitch, we need a bobble, which is basically 3 double crochets into the same stitch, crocheted together. So to do that, we start a double crochet in the stitch by yarning over, pulling up a loop, pull through 2, and then we do it 2 more times. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarning over, pulling up a loop, pull through 2, and then you pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And there's your bobble. Really, really simple. Then chain 1. All right, so then we've reached the center, the spine, okay? Now, to increase the spine, and again, we're doing this every row, after chaining 1 after the bobble into the spine, we do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. So it's 3 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces, all into the spine. And that, like I said, every row, okay? Then, after we increase the spine, chain 1, and we need another bobble. So again, going into start a double but not finish, and another one, and another one. And then you pull through all 4 loops on the hook, chain 1, and then we need a V-stitch in the last double crochet. Now, I know this can be a little bit tricky because it's like, all right, where do I go into, right? Well, for this initial one, it's easiest. Okay, so you can see I have where I went into my stitch. Then there's 1 chain. See, I've got my 1 chain right here. We're going to go into that next one right there with a V-stitch. So right into here. Be sure to go underneath both loops. Okay, so it's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same stitch. Come, work with me. All right. And there you go. And so you can just cinch that nice up. And that is the second row. Now, of course, I'm going to do some repeats for you, but it is quite literally the same thing every row, which I love. Simplicity has its place deep in my heart. Oh, yes, it does. So let's continue on with some more repeats. All right, so to continue right along, footloose and fancy-free, again, always starting our row with a chaining of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn the work, and double crochet into that first stitch for our V-stitch. Chain 1, and into this double crochet, we need another bobble. Now, basically what it amounts to is when you reach a double crochet, do a bobble. When you reach a bobble, do a double crochet. It's all alternates. So since we have a double, we need a bobble. So again, yarning over, pulling up a loop, pull through 2, yarning over, pulling up a loop, pull through 2, yarning over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through all 4. Chain 1, and we need to do a double crochet into the bubble. All right, so now it can be a little tricky. It's like, all right, where do you work into? Now you could conceivably work into here, but that is the chain 1. I like to work into here, right there. Sorry, my hands are a little bit shaky today. All right, so that is where I'm working into, right there, okay? So chain 1, and we need another bobble because we don't do our spine increase until the center of the spine. So we need to do another bobble right here. So going in, we're doing another bobble. So it's always 3 semi-finished double crochets, and then you pull through all 4, like so. Okay, chain 1, and then we need our spine increase in the middle. What might actually help, because it can be very easy to get lost within your pattern and, lose track of where you are, you might want to put a bit of yarn, a little stitch marker around this center double crochet, and then move it up as you go along, just so that, you're like, oh, gotta do the spine increase, because otherwise the rest of the pattern is pretty much the same. So again, to do the spine increase, we're going in with 3 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. So I've got 1 chain and 2 chain and 3. So 3 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. Yes. Then chain 1, and we need another bobble. So going in, and again, and again. Just gotta pull out some more yarn. All right, and then you pull through all 4. Shaboom. Chain 1, and then we need a double into the bobble. Chain 1, and then a bobble into that little double crochet. So once you get the hang of how the pattern works, it is so easy. I absolutely love it. All right, so then we need another V-stitch at the end here. Now this one's going to be a little bit easier because it's more defined. Now what you can always do is you can count from the bottom. 1, 2, into the 3rd, or if you're going from the top, just skip that first chain. So it's either the 3rd from the bottom or the 2nd from the top, either or. All right. Now you could go into just going into this space, do your V-stitch, but I like to go within the stitches for the sake of this. I think it makes the edge look a little bit neater. So that's a double, chain 1, and a double into that same stitch to create our V-stitch. Ta-da! All right. Also, another thing that I noticed is that the bobbles puff on alternate rows. So you can see these 2 bobbles here, they're sort of puffed out. On the other side, when you turn it over, these puff a little bit. So it creates an interesting texture. See, we got boom, 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 boom. These ones puff a little bit, and that's going to keep going, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, let me just show you what I'm talking about a little bit better. See, this one puffs, this one puffs. They puff, puff, puff. And then on the flip side, they do the opposite thing. So it creates an interesting texture, which I also really like. All right, so we're going to do a couple more repeats because I love to be thorough and I love spending time with you guys. You guys are my friends. All right, so we're going to keep on going. Alrighty, so again, we need a V-stitch in the first stitch, so chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the work. Double crochet into that first stitch. Chain 1. Bobble into the next. Also, I hope you are having a lovely day today. I know I am. Chain 1. Double crochet into the bobble. It's a brisk fall day, and I am loving it. All right, chain 1. Bobble into the double. Fall is definitely my favorite season of all. Okay, and then pull through all 4. Chain 1. Double crochet into the bobble. Chain 1. And bobble into the next double crochet. There we go, and then through all 4, chain 1, and then we need to do the spine increase. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, all into that same stitch in the center, like so. Chain 1, bobble into the double, okay, pull through all 4, chain 1, double into the bobble, chain 1, bobble into the double, so it's really, really, really quite easy once you get the hang of it. And then it's, like Purple Iguana said, it's one of those patterns where, you can just keep going and you can stop and leave off and then pick up where you left off. It's really that easy. All right, and then so I did my chain 1, so now I need to do a double into the bobble. Chain 1, bobble into the double. Chain 1, and then V-stitch into the top of the last double. So again, you can count up 1, 2, and 3. Right in there, into that third chain from the bottom. Double, chain 1, and double. And there you go. So I'm going to show you what we have thus far. Yes, I absolutely love, 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 love how this looks and how very, very easy it is. I mean, granted, I do love some complicated patterns, sure, but sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a mental vacation, All right, so we're going to go in and do another repeat. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. turn the work. Double crochet into the first stitch, chain 1, bobble into the double, chain 1, double into the bobble, chain 1, bobble into the double, and I did my chain 1, so double into the bobble, chain 1, bobble into the double, there we go, chain 1, double into the bobble, chain 1, bobble into the double, there we go, chain 1, and we've reached our center spine once again. So you know what to do. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Oops. All right, so I got my 3 doubles separated by chain 1 spaces, then chain 1, and yes, I have to pull out some more yarn. Okay. All right, so I need to bobble into the double. Sounds like a dance move. Boogie woogie with the bobble and the double and the trouble and the... I don't know. I'm being silly. All right, and then I chained 1 and double into the bobble. Actually, there was a really cute arcade game that I really liked called Bubble Bobble when I was a kid. All right, so I did my double, my chain 1, need another bobble into the double. There you go. And pull through all 4, chain 1, double into the bobble, chain 1, bobble, not bubble. It's like a tongue twister. Bobble into the double here. Okay, pull through all 4, chain 1, double into the bobble, chain 1, and bobble into the double. There we go. Chain 1, and then a V-stitch in the very last double crochet, which is the 3rd from the bottom. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same stitch. So double, chain 1, and double. Ta-da! And there you go. Just keep doing that same 1 row over and over and over and over, and you too can make a lovely, lovely little web. Again, thank you so very, very much, Purple Iguana. I love this pattern. I'm really flattered and I'm delighted, and I thank you very, very much. So, if you like this video, please give me a little thumbs up button. Please comment, please, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because I do try to post as often as I can, whether it be crocheting, knitting, audiobook narration, or my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games. Been having a blast with that. I'll put a link in the description down below. And, so until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.